now we have this trimmed up to where we're going to start our stitching. So again, this is starting to dry out a little bit. You know, we want this to be pliable, so we're going to need to soak that a little bit more. Just go back to rehydrating it again. Soon. So now we're just going to let the water soak in, and we're going to hydrate this for a bit. This is the difficult part to show. When you are stitching, you start from the top of the sheath. So we're going to start from here, and we're going to work our way down to this point. Once we get to that point, we're going to come back up here to finish off the one side. Then we're going to flip over to the other side and then do the same thing. And all will help you in this situation to start, because you'll have at least 4 layers of rawhide that you need to go through up here on both sides. And then once you get down here past this embellishment here, then you're just going to have the 2 layers, and your needle will go through pretty easily. So again, I like to use waxed linen thread. You do not need to double this over, okay? Let it stay single strand. And what I like to do is I'll measure out from here, and then I add another 6 inches. For this sheath, basically, I won't need to go any further than my arm's length. I'll take that and get my needle ready. You're going to do a whip stitch on this, but your whip stitch is going to be on an angle, and I probably really can't explain it to you without showing it to you. But if you start here, then you're going to work your way this way, and then subsequently this way, and then subsequently that way. And then when you come back on the other side, you go the opposite direction, so it makes an X in your stitching. Start from the bottom. Now you're going to want to do a couple of stitches in here, because you want them, this is your anchor point right here for now. I'm going to try this all. This one's a little sharper. Don't be afraid to use a homemade thimble by using the table, because you're going to be doing all that a lot. Now come back over the top. And just move on down. and just pull it tight as you keep going. I realize this is probably really difficult right now to see on camera, guys. Unfortunately, dark thread, dark sheath, and the sun's going down. As you can see, well, hopefully you can see, now this is starting to come about. And then we're just going to keep doing this. And it's going to roll the edge, and you want the edge to roll to the front. So I'm going to continue stitching this because I could probably do it faster without trying to be on camera. And then we'll get down to the end. Alright, so now I have finished the first row of stitching. I'm trying to show it to you with the GoPro. As you can see, it's just that whip stitch with large stitches. And now what we're going to do is we're going to cross back over those stitches to make an X to go back up. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Tried a different shot with the GoPro, and hopefully you could actually see that. And I hope I explained it to you well. Alright, so we have our sheath and it's done. And we only need to let it dry, but we need to let it dry around the knife. So what you're going to wind up doing is just take some plastic wrap and just wrap your knife up like such. Okay, and you know, this is still a little tacky, so that's not a problem. Just slide your knife in, all right, and let it form over the knife, and we're going to let it sit and dry overnight. And but before we do that, what we're going to do is we're going to give it another coat of our brown dye, and then we're just going to let it dry just like that. So let's go ahead and take it, and we'll do that now really quick while we can. And trim off your tags, doesn't really matter. So, and you don't have to do a lot. You can put it in different places. You don't have to do the whole thing if you don't want to, because there's other little things that we can do, and we got all little tricks that we can pretty much play with. So let's give it a quick shot. That's what I've done. Alright, so there's our finished sheath, and now we're just going to let it dry, and it needs to dry overnight. So now is a good time to stop. Alright guys, so here you go. Here's the sheath, completely dry and ready to go into the woods with me. Okay, it's a good fitting sheath. If you make a sheath like this, it will be a good fitting sheath. It doesn't, knife doesn't fall out. Okay, it holds in there and it's ready to go. It'll protect your knife for many, many years as long as you make it correctly and take your time while you're doing it. You can use this pattern on modern knives as well. You just have to take that into consideration when you're doing your pattern for the knife and how you want it. You can add a belt loop in the back. It can ride on your belt. You can put side loops here. It can ride on your knife or on your belt horizontally as well. Myself, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this knife and put it into my sash. So anyway, this is ready to go. That's how you make a rawhide sheath. This is Brian from Snowwalker Bushcraft. Until the next episode of Shadows in the Forest, walk the woods.